In today's video, we're gonna talk about a champions that's seen a massive value surge since the release of Sun Wukong, aka the Monkey King. Now, a lot of you guys are wondering, how do I deal with the problem? Basically, luckily enough, we do have a solution for the Monkey King. We have the champions that block revive, guys. That's gonna be a very good way on how you can deal with the champion, because Sun Wukong, unlike different champions in the game, has this very annoying passive next to everything else that's annoying in his kit that revives this champion with 100% HP and 100% turn meter 3 turns after they were killed. Now, 3 turns includes my team, your team taking a turn basically. And you have different ways on how you can deal with a champion. You can lock his passive, like if a Ronda or a Mantu or a different champion will lock the passive, he will not revive. So I'm going to show you a few different things on how you can deal with a champion with a problem in today's video, of course. And I'm going to discuss about other champions that saw a massive value surge recently. The other day we started an account giveaway, guys, on this video right here. And as promised, today, Sunday, we're actually going to pick out the winner. And we're going to announce the winner that actually got this account. So we're going to get the link from the video and we're going to head over to YouTube random comment generator. So I ask you guys to tell me what exactly you like about Sun Wukong. You think he's an OP champion? You think he's a trash champion or anything like that? So let's see who is going to win the account. Of course, you needed to be a subscriber, drop a like on the video, and some people commented but not to enter the giveaway. So that's why the comment that will actually be picked, it needs to be relevant with the question that we asked, right? What do you think about Sun Wukong? So let's see, who do we have as a winner? Herku. Sun Wukong is a legend on itself. They kept his reputation top notch. So this is the account winner, guys. I'm gonna need you to contact me in Discord, buddy. So send me a message in Discord. And of course, I'm gonna put this on the community tab as well. But congrats to our winner, and keep an eye for the future giveaways, guys. Make sure you're a subscriber of the channel, because we're gonna have another account giveaway coming in next week. That being said, let's head over to Arena first, and let me just show you the very first champion that is pretty interesting. This is more kind of like a troll sort of thing, and I've seen things going around. I can't remember who said it, but basically, if Sun Wukong is the meta now, that makes Queen Eva the meta, right? Because Queen Eva blocks revive. So for example, if we're gonna take away all these OP champions, right? So let's just bring in my Arbiter. So we have a champion to give us increased attack. Then, you know what? Let's just bring in Alika. Alika is gonna be the lockout. I'm not gonna use my damage Alika. I've just put some accuracy gear on this one. For whatever reason, I don't seem to have a basher available on my account. Seems like I fed every single one of them. I'm not sure how. Then, of course, Queen Eva. Now, again, in a team like this, you can use a Madame series. This strategy works mainly for the lower tiers. In the higher tiers, you're not really going to find a Sun Wukong in defense. And in live arena as well, you will encounter some of them, but you might have slightly better options on how you can deal with the champion. This right here is for the masses, for the majority of you guys out there. So for example, let's actually bring in a different champion that boosts turn meter and manipulates a bit to ensure that my champions are going. Actually, we should be going before that, but let's actually just bring something. Let's bring a Mountain King as well. The Mountain King is mainly to deal with his Mountain King, you know what I mean? But we're gonna do it in the following way. I am faster than him, and right now I'm gonna lock them. Now this might actually kill them. I don't have damage on her. We shouldn't kill them like that. So we lock the skills on everybody. You can do it with an Alika. You can do it with a Basher. You don't need Warlord or Yumeko. Of course, they are better, but if you don't have them, a lockout champion is pretty accessible, fairly accessible. We have a few, but not that many. Then we have Queen Eva. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. 1. The second he didn't proc. Block the revive. So the Monkey King will not be an issue for us from here on. And I'm gonna show you a few different champions that can be played against the Sun Wukong. I will try to find another team right here just to show you how Ronda does the job as well, and quickly to explain you why, because I've seen so many people being surprised by it, honestly, and I wasn't sure exactly why is that surprise a thing, you know? Basically, if we're gonna go against this team, so I'm still gonna follow pretty much the same sort of principle. Let's try to find Ronda. Where are you, Ronda Rousey? There we go. And we should bring some other champion. You know what? Let's just bring, I don't know, Lissandra. Let's bring Lissandra. Do we have her in the vault maybe? There we go. I know I don't have gear on her because I'm using her for my Dark Fae, and I only have a couple of pieces just to get to the speed. But basically, check this out, guys. So we do have that Taras in here, which might be an issue. I should have thought about it and maybe bring a damage dealer instead, but I got cocky. So there we go. We're locking the skills, right? Of course, we can weak hit on the Monkey King. But right now, the reason why I'm locking the skills is because that Arbiter cannot revive, okay? So that's the main reason why. And now, if I'm going to do this with Ronda, places a block active skills and a block active skill as well. So passive and skill, sorry. Basically, these debuffs are getting landed on the target before the damage. Even though the animation might not show it to you all the time, the debuffs are being placed first. That's why when you are attacking somebody that will polymorph Ronda, it doesn't matter because the debuffs are still landing on the target before Ronda gets polymorphed. So check this out. And he's dead. He's not going to revive in 3 turns. Check this out. So 1 turn. I'm going to boost Terminator all around just so you guys can see. Drop that Terminator. I'm supposed to do it on the DPS, but that's fine. Okay. 4 turns, you see? And that's it. The Monkey King is not coming back, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of you guys were very, very curious about this whole situation. So I just wanted to kind of like point it out. That's it. Now, of course, we have some other champions that are great in the mix. I'm not going to do an arena fight with each one of these champions, but instead, we're quickly going to talk about the next few champions. So yes, that's a trash pack. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. The Dark Elves. We have a couple of different champions in here that are very, very good, actually. And one of them, one of the best, is Foley. So Foley, unlike other champions, he does hit fairly hard and is a good nuker. He's not a meta nuker, but he's a good nuker. Attacks all enemies, decreases their current turn meter by 15%, then attacks the targeted enemy. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. So I feel like champions that block revive will definitely see quite a bit of a value surge because of the Son Wukong. And this is mainly for the majority of players that are struggling to find a way maybe on how they can deal with the Monkey King constantly coming back to life, annoying you. So Foley right here is a pretty good option. Decent base stats all around. And the rest of the skills are good too. A quadruple hitter right here. You can use him on the Fire Knight too, so it's not a total waste or anything like that. Attacks 4 times at random, a chance to land Leech. The passive is great. If you're going against champions like Tormin or other champions that crowd control, will instantly remove that and boost the turn meter, allowing the champion to get a turn much faster than he should, you know? So Foley right here is a pretty good example. Now we've seen Queen Eva in action. I don't personally recommend anyone to build Queen Eva unless you have no other options whatsoever and the Monkey King is really stressing you out. She's a good campaign farmer, one of the best brutal campaign farmers in the game together with Felhound. But the issue is she just doesn't do anything else, and I'm praying that Plarium is listening to us and they will buff Queen Eva because she looks amazing as a champion. So this skill right here attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. Now, I didn't have mine built in crazy stats in Savage or anything like that. Probably she has less than 5k attack. She has some very random gear and not Savage. But she's not necessarily capable of killing tanks. So if you're going against a proper team built, a proper team that has the tanks properly built, sorry, I kind of like lost what I was gonna say there. She's not really gonna be the right nuker for the team. Trust me when I'm telling you that. Even though this skill is great, attacks all enemies, decreases the turn meter, resets the cooldown on each of these champion skills if any target is killed, has a 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit. So that's great for campaign, but not great out of here. The A1 has a chance to land the heal reduction. So all around is not an insane champion. It's probably one of the weakest from all of them that I'm about to show you in today's video. Then, of course, we have Xayvia. Xayvia she's not a great champion to do the job, mainly because she is weak affinity against spirit. So with this skill, she might not kill the Monkey King. This skill does block revive, okay, the A3, but if you're getting a weak hit and you're not killing him, she becomes pretty irrelevant. So I wouldn't really count Xavier as a good champion to deal with it. I do want to mention Lydia while we are here on the topic. Actually, the Monkey King is an amazing counter to Lydia's passive, because Lydia blocks revive. Well, if the Monkey King dies, 3 turns back he's attempting to come back to life, Lydia's passive is blocking that revive. So then you can revive the Monkey King with a different champion, okay? And basically put this passive on a 7-turn cooldown. So it's actually a good thing to play around with. But she's not necessarily a good counter against Sun Wukong, because the next champion can easily revive him after. I'm glad that we kind of like pointed that out. Now the next champion that a lot of you guys might not expect, and damn, is from the same faction before we're moving from there, is Luria, guys. So this one right here is an epic champion. She hits pretty hard. I used to run her for faction wars. Pretty good champion actually, not a bad one. You know how it is with most of the old epics, they've been power crept. So that's the main issue. The A1 has a chance to land defense down, or a heal reduction, or a decreased speed. The A2 attacks all enemies, has a chance to place a freeze debuff. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived, and I can guarantee you that she has enough firepower in this skill to block the revive on a nuker. So the Monkey King is not a tanky champion. You don't need to have like the most insane stats to deal with him, and she's gonna block the revive with this. Plus, she might bring you a freeze on the rest of the champions, allowing you to win the fight, you know? And this skill right here attacks one enemy, removes all buffs, and has a chance to place block buffs. So Luria definitely a pretty good option as well for the lower tiers. If you're struggling in your progression through arena, guys, definitely keep an eye for her. Even for live arena if you're encountering a lot of Sun Wukongs. Moving over to the next champion, and this is one of my most favorite ones. Indeed, it's not as easy to make the most out of the champion, but when you are using, for example, a Madame series or some different debuffers in the team, or even without that, he just hits so freaking hard. Fanax, and he's on a basic skill, so even if he gets locked by a champion like Warlord or anything like that, he's still gonna do an amazing job. This A1 is one of the hardest hitting basic skills in the entire game. Attacks one enemy, places an extra hit if the target has any debuffs. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived, and boy, I can guarantee you Fanax is not going to disappoint. Like, this skill actually smacks very good multipliers. Give him a decent build and he will not disappoint you. The right affinity as well to deal with Sun Wukong, and you can actually use him in different content too. Great for progression on the Ice Golem because he blocks the revive on the minions, and even in Clan Boss if you need a raw DPS champion, this A1 is going to be great. Lock the A2 and the A3. This has a chance to put block buffs and block active skills. And the A3, I wish this would be on a 3-turn cooldown with a guaranteed chance to land defense down. Will make him a much better champion all around. But basically all that matters on him is the A1. Let's see the reviews. Look at that. He actually has good reviews. I was not expecting that, but he's a solid champion. Moving over to the next one, guys. This is a Void legendary. It's not necessarily very common to have a Void legendary like him, but it's not the best nuker. His multipliers are pretty weak on the AoE. But this skill right here is great. Attacks one enemy 3 times, so this is definitely very likely to kill somebody. The A1, again, decent damage, but the main thing that matters is the A2 deals good damage, and the passive, enemies killed by this champion cannot be revived, guys. And that's where Innately Bloodwing gets the upper hand against the Sun Wukong, if you are having issues with that. Plus, you have an attack aura for all battles. And again, this is a champion that definitely needs a buff because, my god, he looks so freaking amazing. Moving over to the next champion. This, again, is going to be a bit more weird, I would say. So, we have Mortu Makab. I don't think Mortu Makab is a good counter against Sun Wukong, because if Sun Wukong polymorphs him before he takes a turn, it goes through Stone Skin and everything, Mortu becomes irrelevant. He gets killed after by the nuker, and he's never going to get to use the passive, okay? So that's one thing. You can play it around, but honestly, it's one of the weakest counters you're going to have. Yes, this skill blocks revive, but is not something that you're gonna proc instantly. You know what I mean? Now I mentioned the next champion that we have on the list. This is a bit of a weird one, you know, like, I don't know how to feel about Gamuran. So Gamuran has this skill. Is it this one? No, it's this one. If the target is dead, so basically can target dead or living enemies. If the target is dead, places a block revive on them. So basically, when you take a turn with him, if you kill the Monkey King with somebody else, you can select with Gamuran the Monkey King and block his revive. He'll never come back to life. And if the target is alive when you're using this skill, which you shouldn't, because you're trying to block the revive, it places it through fear. Then with the A2, attacks all enemies, has a chance to steal a random buff. After stealing, applies a buff spread effect, taking a random buff from this champion and is placing it on all allies. Not that amazing. Like, yeah, at the beginning when they brought this champion in, I thought, my god, he's maybe gonna spread Stone Skin, he's gonna be amazing, I'm gonna do this strategy. But that was a disappointment, it didn't play out. So I'm not a fan of the champion. That's why I'm kind of like, if you have him built, you can use him. Even if you don't have him built, just give him some speed gear at level 50 or whatever, however you're keeping him. He doesn't need books either. Just go in and use this skill one time. Once you kill the Monkey King, you block the revive and that's it. You don't need him built to do this skill one time, but you do need the other team to do their job, basically, you know? So just as an idea, I kind of wanted to point this out. Of course, we have Ramantu that can block the passives. Now, Ramantu is not a champion that you're going to get while you're progressing through the game. The reason why I'm not really bringing him up. And by the time you're going to get Ramantu, I'm pretty sure that you're going to have different ways on how you can deal with Son Wukong. You know what I mean? So you might still be using a block revive champion to deal with him, or different methods, or you're just going to wreck the enemy regardless. But I feel like by the time you get him, you're going to be spot on with the rest of the team, because this is a pretty endgame champion. We have one more option, guys, which is fairly interesting. Plus, we do have other champions from the Doom Tower, like Basata, for example. When an enemy revives, you get him to be stunned, so it allows you to play around. He's a decent option. I think he is from the Lizardman as well. Basata, right? Where is he? There we go. This one, the passive. Whenever an enemy is revived, has a 100% chance to place a stun on them. You don't need accuracy and it cannot be blocked. So this can counter the Monkey King a bit as well, but then again, you gotta kill him, and if you're not finishing the fight in time, he's gonna revive on and on and on. But the good thing is that this has a one-turn cooldown, so you're constantly gonna stun the Monkey King, you know? And the last champion that I wanted to point out is Stormin. This is a lot of RNG, but basically, when enemies gain turn meter or anything like that, he has a chance to freeze them, you know? So this is a fairly decent counter against Son Wukong Doom. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. How annoying is Son Wukong in your opinion? Do you have different methods on how you're dealing with the champion? I'm very curious to hear your thoughts and your strategies on how you are dealing with the champion. Please let me know in the comments down below. And if you are using block revive champions or anything like that, which one of these champions that I mentioned are your favorite? Appreciate all of you guys watching. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to smash that like, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all of you, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.